right, welcome everyone. Today we're diving deep into the world of Sundar Pichai.
Oh, yeah.
You guys wanted to know more about the CEO of Alphabet, Google's parent company. And, well, let me tell you, his story is a wild ride.
It is.
From a 2-room apartment in Chennai, India, to leading one of the biggest tech companies
It's incredible.
out there. It's really quite something.
Yeah, when you think about the contrast between his upbringing
Oh, yeah.
and then navigating the crazy world of Silicon Valley,
Yeah,
I mean, that alone is a huge story.
absolutely. So let's paint a picture here. Young Sundar Pichai, growing up in Chennai.
Okay.
Not a wealthy family, but his parents, they really instilled in him the
Yeah.
value of education and hard work. And even as a kid,
Wow.
he was already into tech.
Really?
I mean, get this, he wrote a chess program when he was a kid.
No way.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
that just shows you, like, the early signs of problem solving.
Definitely sets the stage for his success at Google later.
Right, exactly.
Where innovation's everything. Yeah.
And also, you can't forget his academic journey.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, then Stanford, then Wharton.
It's impressive.
That's quite the trajectory.
Talk about a high achiever.
Yeah. But even before Google, he was gathering these unique skills, right?
Right.
He worked at Applied Materials,
Yeah.
getting into semiconductors,
Yeah.
then McKinsey and Company,
Interesting.
which is all about strategy.
So he had this technical side and this business mind even before Google.
Yeah, before even stepping into Google.
It's like he was meant for this.
It's like it was all leading to this,
Right.
and then boom, 2004, he joins Google.
Wow.
And, this is when Google's like exploding.
Oh, yeah. Huge growth.
Gmail's launching, the toolbar's happening,
Right.
and his first job, improving the toolbar.
Interesting.
I mean, what do you think it was like for him
yeah.
to join at that moment?
It must have been like electric, joining a rocket ship about to blast off.
Totally. And he made his mark quickly.
He did.
The toolbar, it showed his talent for understanding what users need
Exactly.
and coming up with elegant solutions.
Yeah.
And, that leads us to, well, one of his biggest contributions, Google Chrome.
Oh.
Remember when Internet Explorer was king?
It's hard to imagine now.
I know, right? It feels like ancient history.
Yeah.
But Chrome changed everything.
It really did.
What do you think was the key to Chrome's success?
Well, it was a bunch of things.
Yeah.
But Pichai's vision was huge.
You think so?
I do. He saw that people needed a faster, easier browser,
Okay.
and he had the skills to make it happen.
Makes sense.
It wasn't just about a better product. It was about knowing what users wanted
Yeah.
before they even knew it.
He was like predicting the future. And it wasn't just Chrome, Chrome OS, Chromebook. He was a product visionary.
Definitely. And then there's Android.
Right.
By 2013, he's leading that whole thing.
Yeah.
A real turning point, showing he could manage big teams, complex projects, setting the stage for everything that came next.
It's amazing how he kept taking on bigger and bigger challenges.
He did.
2012, he's a senior vice president. Then 2015, Google restructures, becomes Alphabet.
Right.
And guess who's CEO of Google?
Sundar Pichai.
Boom.
That's remarkable.
And then just 4 years later,
Yeah.
CEO of the entire Alphabet.
Wow.
I mean, that's a climb.
A real testament to his success.
It really is. And now let's talk about the future, because this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Pichai, he's all about AI first.
Interesting.
He thinks AI is going to revolutionize everything.
Wow.
And he's putting Alphabet's resources behind it.
He's not just talking about it.
Right.
He's actually doing it. It's
Exactly.
massive investments in AI,
Yeah.
building those cutting-edge models.
I've seen them, like the Gemini models popping up in Google search.
Exactly.
But I have to admit, I don't really get how they work.
Oh,
What's multimodal processing, especially with these Gemini models?
So imagine AI that understands not just text, but images, sounds,
Okay.
even physical feelings.
Wow.
It learns from the world in a much more human way.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's key to Pichai's vision of AI being everywhere.
That sounds both amazing and kind of scary.
Right.
But it's clear he's going all in on this full stack approach to AI.
Yeah. Google controls everything, the hardware, the algorithms.
Oh, plenty.
It sets them apart from, say, Microsoft,
Oh, interesting.
who's big on OpenAI, but mostly on the software side.
So Google's building the whole ecosystem.
Exactly. It's bold.
It is.
Raises questions about how AI will develop.
Lots of questions.
Yeah, lots to think about.
But before we get into that, I want to switch gears a bit.
Sure.
Talk about Pichai's leadership style.
Okay.
He's known for being humble, empathetic.
That's not your typical tech CEO.
It's not, is it?
Not at all.
And it's genuine.
People say he's a good listener, cares about employees, values different perspectives.
Richard.
He's even fostered this psychological safety at Google.
Psychological safety. What's that?
So it's about people feeling safe to speak up, share ideas,
Right.
even make mistakes without fear of punishment.
That's important.
It creates this environment for risk-taking,
Yeah.
for being creative, which you need for innovation.
That makes sense, especially for a company like Google,
Right.
always pushing the boundaries.
Right. But is it really achievable in a place like Google?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
It's tough for any organization, but especially one so big.
Yeah,
But from what I've read, Pichai is committed to it.
that's good to hear.
He sees it as key for getting and keeping top talent
Makes sense.
and for driving that innovation.
I'd love to know how he puts that into practice.
Yeah.
And we also need to unpack his Simplicity Sprint initiative.
Oh, right.
It sounds like he's trying to make Google more efficient,
Yeah.
more nimble, which is ambitious for a company that size.
Super ambitious. So one goal was to cut down on meetings.
Okay.
Think about it. Over 180,000 employees.
It's a lot.
If everyone's stuck in meetings and paperwork,
Yeah.
innovation dies.
That's true, but how do you even tackle that?
It's a huge challenge.
It seems impossible.
But from what we know, the Simplicity Sprint involved things like encouraging employees
Yeah.
to decline unnecessary meeting invites,
Oh,
streamlining approvals, empowering teams to decide more on their own.
so pushing decisions down, giving people more ownership?
Exactly. It wasn't just about making things easier. It
Yeah.
was about making Google more agile.
More responsive.
Yeah, in a fast-changing world.
Of course, even with that,
Right.
Alphabet's faced challenges, especially with the economy lately.
Definitely.
We talked about the layoffs.
Yeah,
Tough decision.
really tough.
But I wonder, were they the only option?
It's hard to say from the outside,
Yeah.
but Pichai is responsible for so many people.
That's true.
He has
Yeah.
to do what he thinks is best for the company.
Absolutely. And to his credit, he was transparent about it.
He was.
Explained it was to keep the company healthy,
Yeah.
to keep investing in things like, well, AI.
Which brings us back to that AI first vision.
Yeah.
It's clear Pichai sees AI as the future of Google,
It seems like it.
and he's willing to make tough calls to stay a leader.
And it raises concerns about
Right.
AI's downsides, jobs, misuse of the tech.
Definitely.
So how's he addressing those concerns?
Well, he talks about responsible AI development,
Okay.
ethical guidelines, transparency, accountability.
Those are important.
They are, but what's he actually doing?
Right. That's what I want to know.
Well, Google has those AI principles
I've heard of those.
outlining their commitment to beneficial, fair AI,
Boy,
and they have internal review boards
interesting.
to check for ethical implications of their projects.
But I'm still worried about bias in algorithms.
I
You
understand.
see it in things like facial recognition.
Right.
How can we be sure Google's AI won't have the same problems?
It's a valid worry, and Google's working on it.
Good.
They're researching fairness, developing tools to reduce bias,
That's good to hear.
but it's a constant battle.
Yeah, it's an ongoing thing.
Absolutely.
So it sounds like they're trying, but there's more to do.
Definitely. AI is complex. It's always changing.
And there are no easy answers.
No,
But Pichai's commitment to responsible AI is a good sign.
it is. And his leadership style
Yeah,
with the collaboration, the openness to different ideas
right.
that could be key to navigating these challenges.
It's fascinating to think about the impact he's having,
It is.
not just on Google, but on AI as a whole.
And his journey
Yeah,
from Chennai to Silicon Valley
right.
shows that innovation can come from anywhere.
It's an inspiring story.
And it makes you think a
It's
lot.
not to think about.
Well, we've covered a lot in this part.
Yeah, we have.
From his leadership and the Simplicity Sprint
Hmm.
to the economic challenges and AI ethics.
Right.
But there's one more thing I want to explore.
Yeah. His impact on the world beyond Google and Alphabet.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
We focused on the company,
Right.
but his influence goes way beyond that.
It does.
His story resonates with people all over the world.
It does, especially for those from underrepresented backgrounds.
He's a symbol of what's possible.
With hard work, believing in yourself.
And he's using his platform to advocate for things like education, sustainability.
That's a perfect way to lead into the next part. We can dive into his broader impact, his advocacy work, his vision for technology benefiting everyone.
I'm looking forward to it.
We'll be back soon with the final part of our deep dive.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of Sundar Pichai. Last time we were talking about his leadership style and, how he's building this culture of psychological safety at Google.
Right.
But I'm curious, how does that actually work in practice?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Especially with a company as massive as Google.
Well, one example is his approach to decisions. He's known for being very collaborative, inclusive, gets input from his team, considers different viewpoints.
So it's like a team effort.
Yeah, but it's not just about consensus.
No.
He learned from his mentor, Bill Campbell, about breaking ties.
Breaking ties? What does that even mean?
It means sometimes, as a leader, you gotta make the call.
Okay.
Even when there's no clear agreement or all the info isn't there.
You can't get stuck.
Exactly. Especially in tech, things move so fast.
So it's about being decisive, even when it's tough.
Yeah, but it's tricky to balance that with psychological safety.
That's what I was thinking. It seems like they could clash.
Yeah, I think the key is being transparent.
Okay.
From what I've read, Pichai is very open about his decisions.
So he explains his reasoning.
Exactly, acknowledges the trade-offs.
Makes sense.
And makes it clear that everyone's input matters.
Even if he goes a different way in the end.
Exactly. It's about creating a culture where disagreeing is okay.
Even with the CEO, that's pretty cool.
It is.
But let's switch gears a bit to his Simplicity Sprint initiative.
Oh.
Trying to streamline a company like Google, that's a huge task.
It is. What were some of the specific things he wanted to change?
Well, reducing all those unnecessary meetings, processes.
Makes sense. 180,000 people.
It's a lot.
If everyone's in meetings all day, nothing gets done.
Exactly. But where do you even begin with something like that?
Right. It seems impossible.
It does.
Well, the Simplicity Sprint encouraged things like declining meetings if they weren't necessary, streamlining approvals, giving teams more power to decide things on their own.
So more autonomy.
Exactly. It wasn't just about making things easier, though.
Right.
It was about agility, responding quickly to changes.
Right. The market changes so fast.
Exactly. But even with those efforts,
yeah,
Alphabet has had its challenges, especially with the economy.
We talked about the layoffs.
Right. A tough situation.
Were they really the only option, though?
That's a hard question. It's easy to second guess from the outside. But Pichai has to make the best choices for the company.
He does, and he was open about the reasons behind it.
He explained it was about the long-term health of Alphabet.
To allow for more investment in key areas, like AI.
And that brings us back to the AI-first vision.
Right. It's clear he sees that as the future.
He's willing to make tough calls to stay ahead.
But there are concerns about the downsides of AI, job losses, misuse.
So how's he addressing those?
Well, he talks a lot about responsible AI development.
Okay. Ethical guidelines, transparency.
All that good stuff.
But what concrete steps are there?
Right. Actions speak louder than words.
They do. Google has those AI principles.
Yeah, I've heard of those.
It's their commitment to developing AI that's actually helpful. Fair.
Makes sense.
They also have these review boards.
Interesting.
To look at the ethical side of their projects.
That's good, but I'm still worried about bias. We've seen it with facial recognition, for example.
Right. It's a valid concern, and Google's working on it. They're researching fairness, building tools to reduce bias.
Good to hear.
But it's a constant challenge. It never really ends.
So it seems like they're trying, but there's always more to do.
Absolutely. AI is a complex field, always evolving.
No easy answers.
Definitely not. But Pichai's focus on responsible AI, that's a good thing.
And his leadership style, the collaboration, the openness.
All of that's important.
It could be key to navigating all this.
It could. It really could.
It's amazing to think about the impact he's having.
Yeah, it's huge.
Not just on Google, but on AI as a whole.
And his journey.
From Chennai to Silicon Valley.
Exactly. It's a reminder that innovation can come from anywhere.
It's a pretty inspiring story.
It is. Makes you think.
Lots to think about.
So much.
Well, we've covered a lot in this part.
We have. From leadership and streamlining.
The economy and the ethics of AI.
It's been a good discussion.
But there's one more piece I want to look at.
Okay, what's that?
His impact on the world, beyond Google, beyond Alphabet.
His broader impact.
We've been focused on the company.
Right, but his influence is much wider than that.
Exactly. His story connects with people all over the world.
It does, especially those from underrepresented backgrounds.
He's become a symbol of what's possible.
Hard work, believing in yourself.
And he's using his position to speak up for things like education, sustainability.
That's a great segue to our final part.
All right, so next time.
We'll dive into his broader impact, his advocacy work, his vision for how technology can benefit everyone.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
We'll be back soon with the final part of our deep dive into the world of Sundar Pichai.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the life and career of Sundar Pichai. In the previous parts, we really unpacked his journey.
Yeah.
From those humble beginnings to becoming CEO of Alphabet, and his leadership style, and that ambitious vision he has for an AI-powered future.
Definitely.
But now, I want to shift gears a bit and talk about his broader impact, beyond just Google and Alphabet.
Right. That's interesting.
We've talked a lot about what he's doing inside those companies.
Yeah.
But what about his influence on the world as a whole?
That's a great point. Often we think of CEOs as being very focused on their own companies, their own little world.
Right, their own bottom line.
But Pichai's influence really goes beyond that.
Yeah.
His personal story, his advocacy, his vision for technology, it's inspiring people globally.
It's true. He's become this global figure.
Yeah.
He's not just a tech CEO. He's involved in conversations about climate change, education, ethical AI development.
It's like he's using his platform to make a real difference.
Absolutely, and it's not just talk.
No, not at all.
Take Alphabet's commitment to sustainability, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Under Pichai, they've set these ambitious goals to be carbon-free by 2030.
Which is huge.
Investing in renewable energy, sustainable products.
They're putting their money where their mouth is.
Exactly, and it's a bold move for a company that relies so much on data centers.
Yeah, those things use a ton of energy.
It shows he's serious about this.
Yeah, it's not just about being green, it's about leading the way.
Showing that it's possible.
Exactly, and it sends a message to other companies.
Yeah, like sustainability isn't just good for the planet.
Right.
It's good for business, too.
It's good for everyone.
And then there's his work in education.
Oh, yeah.
Especially STEM fields. He's a big advocate for access to tech and education in underserved communities.
Especially in India.
Right where he's from.
He talks about how education changed his life.
It's powerful.
It is, and he wants to give others that same chance.
So Alphabet has all these initiatives.
They do.
For digital literacy, STEM support, tech skills training.
It's about leveling the playing field.
Exactly, giving opportunities to those who might not have them.
It's inspiring to see someone in his position do that.
It really is. It all goes back to his belief in technology's power to solve problems, to improve lives.
Right. He's not just about the next shiny gadget.
No.
He's thinking bigger about the big challenges.
And that leads us back to his AI-powered future vision.
We've talked about the good and the bad of AI.
We have.
But I wonder, what do you think his legacy will be?
Had a good question. How will he be remembered?
It's hard to say for sure.
It is. It's still unfolding.
But I think he'll be seen as a key figure in AI.
Yeah, and how it's developed, used, even governed.
Exactly. He's not just building AI products.
Right. He's shaping the whole conversation around it.
And he's been vocal about the ethical side of it.
Oh, absolutely. Transparency, a human-centered approach.
And his leadership style with the collaboration, the inclusivity, that could be crucial for navigating all this.
Because it's not just about building the tech.
No, it's about building it responsibly.
Making sure it benefits everyone.
Exactly. And he seems to get that.
He does. And he's thinking long-term.
Yeah, not just about profits, but about the impact on society.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Sundar Pichai's world, what's your main takeaway? What stands out to you?
For me, it's that leadership in tech.
Yeah.
It's not just about making cool products anymore.
Right. It's bigger than that.
It's about making a positive impact, solving problems,
Creating opportunities.
shaping a future that works for everyone.
And I think Sundar Pichai gets that.
He really does.
He's a reminder that technology is powerful.
Yeah.
And we have to use it wisely.
We do. It's in our hands.
He's not just building a company, he's building a legacy.
And it's still being written.
That's true. It'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Definitely, how his vision unfolds.
Well, to everyone listening,
Yeah.
this has been our deep dive into Sundar Pichai.
Hope you enjoyed it.
We hope you found it insightful, engaging.
If you want to learn more, check out the show notes.
There's a lot more to explore.
There is. The future of tech is still being written.
So stay informed, Stay curious.
And stay engaged.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time.
Keep exploring.